Greetings, friends. It's Denise again with Denise's Dancing Paintbrush and another collage. Again, I wanted to do some more ravens. I sure like these ravens, the contrast and everything. This time I perched them in a tree. I had to find a bunch of raven photos for reference. And so I collaged those photos all together in a Photoshop page to use for my reference. And because I'm going the long direction on this paper, my camera couldn't pull back far enough, and I apologize. I'll let you see the whole thing at the end, of course. Again, I start with the background. Leaving space for my branches because I didn't want to forget exactly where they were. Even though I have a photo reference, there's a lot more branches in the reference than I really wanted to put into my collage. So I drew in only a few of them. And as I began laying on the tree trunk, I realized I really want to have a few green boughs of pine leaves. So I had to go back and put in the pine leaves, and that's going to take a while because they're fluffy. And I put them on one at a time. You can see I like to tear a lot of pieces before I start, laying it all in. Then I have a pile of different colors that I can hodgepodge. I can mix and match. And for some of this, you can see I'm wearing my wrist brace because I'm having, the cold weather. It brings out the arthritis pain, but it's just something you work through. You do what you gotta do to keep on creating. So here's my little, you can see my little pile of thin leaves that I'm using for my pine. And I didn't want it to be overpowering, so it's not dark in color. It's very, very light, like the sunlight is shining through it and on it. And of course on the opposite side of the tree, the little pine needles will be much darker. This seems tedious, I know, but it's so much fun for me. I get a charge out of it every time. And I'm using tweezers. It makes it so much easier than you don't have fingers full of glue. You can't get very far when your fingers are just loaded with the glue. And those tweezers really help with the placement of little pieces. So I moved the picture up so you can see the raven at the very top of the page. But there is glare. I apologize for the glare. Because I'm using pieces from old magazines and even some photographs, some analog photos that I have cut up. It's very shiny paper. I even have an Avon catalog there that I'm cutting up. Some of the best colors come from the Avon catalogs, I gotta tell you. And it's nice paper. It's going slow on this one raven because I'm trying to put the pieces on as the feathers lay. And even the beak I'm putting on with all of the plane changes and the way it catches light so that it looks more natural. And then I'm kind of going down to the next one below it, starting with the dark colors and working towards the light. So there's black and blue and a deep violet and purple and some gray and some green. So I'm using some pieces from art magazines as well and old wall calendars. Sometimes I'll get a flyer in the mail and use that as well because the paper is nice and the colors are good. I thought I was rather unique in using up my old magazines in this way. Instead of throwing them into a, landfill somewhere, and because everybody loves the idea, all my friends want to give me their old magazines, some of them dating as far back as the 50s, which didn't use a lot of colored paper back then. And so I have more magazines than I know what to do with. Piles and piles. I had to stop people from giving me more magazines. And until I run low, I'm hip deep in them. The last little bit is putting on the feet and attaching them to the branches and the tree trunk. I already put the eyes on my ravens. So there it is. Tell me what you think. All finished with the cut and the torn papers. I added a few words and a few pictures, and there it is. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. Sometimes this process takes a while. This one took me a little longer than a week. So, do give me a thumbs up if you liked this. It really helps my channel, and subscribe. And I'll see you all next time. Bye, everyone.